From the dark skies over Normandy to the mountains of Burma, the Army Air Forces didn't just fight with bombers and fighters, they needed transports to carry paratroopers, tow gliders, and drop supplies behind enemy lines. The C-47, the C-46, the C-54, and the Waco glider became the backbone of America's airborne forces. Today we'll break down each one, from the famous to the forgotten. The Douglas C-47 Skytrain was the backbone of America's airborne forces. A military version of the DC-3 airliner, it entered service in 1941, and over 10,000 were built. Powered by two Pratt & Whitney radial engines, it could cruise at 230 miles an hour, climb to 24,000 feet, and carry 28 paratroopers or 6,000 pounds of cargo. On D-Day, more than 800 C-47s filled the night sky over Normandy, dropping paratroopers and towing gliders into battle. The Skytrain was rugged, versatile, and everywhere, flying in Europe, the Pacific, and the China-Burma-India theater. Whether dropping men, hauling supplies, or evacuating wounded, the C-47 was the workhorse that made airborne operations possible. The Curtiss C-46 Commando was larger and more powerful than the C-47, entering service in 1942 with over 3,000 built. Powered by twin Pratt & Whitney R-2800 engines, it could cruise at 270 miles an hour, climb to 27,000 feet, and carry up to 40 paratroopers, or nearly twice the cargo of a C-47. The Commando was best known for flying the dangerous hump route over the Himalayas, moving supplies from India into China. It served in every theater, but never earned the same fame as the Skytrain. Bigger and more capable, but also more complex and maintenance-heavy, the C-46 gave the Army Air Forces extra muscle when it was needed most. The Douglas C-54 Skymaster was a true long-range transport. Entering service in 1942, more than 1,100 were built. With four Pratt & Whitney radial engines, it cruised at 275 miles an hour, climbed to 22,000 feet, and could carry 50 troops or 20,000 pounds of cargo. The Skymaster was too large for combat drops, but vital for moving men and supplies across oceans. It ferried generals, hauled critical equipment, and later became famous in the Berlin airlift, proving its worth as a global workhorse. The Waco CG-4A was the most widely used U.S. combat glider of the war. Built mostly of wood and fabric, over 13,000 were produced. It could carry 13 troops, a jeep, or even a small artillery piece, released from a tow plane like a C-47. With no engine and no second chance, glider pilots had only one shot at a landing, often under fire. At Normandy Market Garden and the Rhine crossing, the CG-4A brought in men and equipment silently, a dangerous but essential part of airborne operations. The Douglas CG-3 was America's first military assault glider, entering service in 1941. It could carry only 8 troops, had no engine, and fewer than 300 were built. With poor handling and difficult landings, it was quickly replaced by the larger and more reliable CG-4A. The CG-3 saw little combat use, remembered mainly as a stepping stone in America's glider program. The Fairchild C-82 Packet was a twin-boom transport designed near the end of the war. First flown in 1944, it cruised at about 200 miles an hour, climbed to 22,000 feet, and could carry 40 troops or heavy cargo through its large clamshell doors. Only a few dozen were delivered before the war ended, but over 200 were completed post-war. Too late for combat, the C-82 pointed to the future of airlift and found its real use after 1945. From the reliable C-47 to the massive C-46, from the long-range C-54 to the silent gliders, these were the aircraft that carried America's airborne into battle. Some became legends, others barely left the ground, but all were part of the vast effort to move men and machines across continents. Without them, the airborne could never have jumped, and entire campaigns might have failed. And while these transports made history, the strangest designs were still waiting in the wings.